I'm 31, I'm not a baby.
No, I said you were a famous baby. You're not famous anymore. When Cory was 1 year old, he was in a foster home, and it was his fifth foster home. And they brought him to us. My wife and we had fostered 25 children. So he came to our house, and he could not sit up or stand up. He had been left in a crib for the whole year in these foster homes in Detroit. So my wife was a nurse and pumped the iron into him. And when he was 2 years old, he was walking and talking. When he was 2.5 years old, they said, pack up Cory, he's going to go to the inner city because we have to put blacks with blacks. And we said, oh no, he's just coming into his own. He's developing, he's beautiful, he can talk now. They said, they came the next day and took him out to the car, and I had to strap him in, and he was screaming. He said, Daddy, Daddy. Took him away, so we filed a complaint with the Michigan Services. Anyway, and they turned me down, so I was looking for an attorney to handle our case because it was just wrong that what they did to him. And the ACLU put their hand up and said, we'll take your case, but it's going to go into a federal court. So we went in front of Judge Damasio, and Judge Damasio and the Attorney General from Michigan, and our attorneys got locked in. And Damasio says, wait a minute. Are you telling me that you moved black children into black homes and white children into white homes, and that's all? That's the only factor in the placement? And the Attorney General said, that's right. He said, well, that's wrong. He said, is Michigan in the United States? This is a federal judge. I'm taking a long time myself, but Damasio ruled in our favor, and he said, you get Cory back. And he looked down at the Attorney General and said, but you wash his clothes first, they'll pick him up tomorrow. We got Cory back.
Wow.
But he had been in a black foster mill where they had 11 children, and it turned out later, this thing got publicity, that they had an ex-convict living there, and they had electricity, and she had 11 children. So we got Cory back, and he lived happily ever after with me.
Wow.
No, stop playing that depressing music. So Cory is a wonderful musician. When he was 4 years old, he came home from church, and he started playing the hymns on our piano. And we couldn't believe it. And then the next Sunday, so we got him lessons, and he's had lessons for 12 years with jazz pianist. And the University of Michigan has a jazz high school band, and he was the only piano player picked out of Michigan to go to their jazz. And he played on the grand finale. He had a solo on Autumn Leaves. And I'd like to have him play that now. is that when Oprah heard about our decision in the federal court here in Detroit, she asked, we were camping in a tent in Ludington, and the ranger came down and said, you got a call from Chicago. I says, we don't know anybody in Chicago. This is from Oprah. I says, come on. So I go up, and it's Oprah's director, and she said, we want you on the show tomorrow. So they flew us out of Muskegon in a private plane, took us to the top of the Marks with our own suite. My children in Detroit had to fly to Chicago, bring a suit and clothes for us to wear on the show. And we had, we were on a panel show, and Oprah said, everybody, do you know that this little 3-year-old has changed the foster and adoption laws in 13 counties. No longer is race the only determination for placement. And of course the audience loved that. And then and later it became went to the U.S. and the Congress, and they adopted the same rules that Damasio put out about Cory. And you cannot use race as the only determination. So it's a national standard.
Okay, I think